What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Vince Warburton and this is VW Fitness. Today we're talking about InnoSupps Clean Vegan Protein. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so before we get into it, just a quick reminder, make sure you head on over to the website, www.vwfitness.club. Snag yourself up some free samples and your official VW Fitness Shaker Cup, guys. Those are live. And as always, the orders will be going out on Mondays. So if you place an order today, Thursday, it's not going to go out till Monday, so just a heads up there. But make sure you get that order in before 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sundays. Okay, guys? So let's get right into this review, guys. If you're new to the channel, we break down the supplement review into 3 different parts. We're going to talk about number 1, price, number 2, the label ingredient breakdown, and lastly, taste. This is kind of an interesting product, vegan protein. I've talked about a few other vegan proteins on the channel, such as Ghost, and I think that's about it. Yeah, I haven't done a ton of protein reviews, guys. I'll just be 100% honest with you, but I think it's important to talk about because it's probably the number 1 or at least like top 3 kind of supplements I would highly recommend. So we just finished up a big workout today, big chest day, and then a 4-mile run on the treadmill. So I'm actually really hungry. I haven't eaten anything. I did that entire workout fasted. And not typically how I like to go about things, but I just don't have a ton of time today. So we had to do both back to back, which again, don't recommend. I would recommend a little bit of a break in between you know, your workout and your cardio, especially that sort of intensity of running. So yeah, guys, let's jump right into this. Price, this comes in at $49.99. Now, there are 25 full servings in here. With that price point, it's going to come in at $2 a serving. Now, again, I haven't really talked about a lot of vegan proteins, and I don't know if you can really justify like pricing scale on the same as regular like whey protein. In terms of price, you know, $2 a serving, that is going to come in at a 4 out of 10, which is not great. So just a heads up, guys, you can use the discount code VINCE20 and save yourself 20% off that $49.99. That will drop down to about, you know, $39.99 roughly. And, you know, it saves you guys some money. Now, you do have to pay for shipping, etc. And I've said this about promo codes, guys. I do get a small kickback if you guys use that InnoSupps code. Just fully being transparent about it. But obviously, they passed on a 20% off discount code to me to use to give to you guys. And obviously, we want to let you guys know about that. So, just a heads up, I do get a kickback. That does go right back into the channel, guys. And as you guys can see, we've done a lot of upgrades, and that's where that money goes into, whether it's lighting, buying more supplements, etc., etc. So in terms of it, 4 out of 10, guys, because I do base it on the original price point, not the discounted price point. I think that's the only way you can kind of keep it fair. Now, again, it's a vegan protein, so you know, you can justify that it should be a little bit more expensive, but I am basing this on a classic whey kind of protein review scale. And as we get more and more vegan proteins and try them out, that scale will slowly change. So just a heads up there. Now, in terms of the label ingredient breakdown, guys, let's jump through this. 140 calories, like I said, 3 grams of fat, which is a little bit higher than most. Usually you're looking at about a gram, gram and a half. 1 gram of saturated fat, 0 cholesterol, 577 milligrams of sodium, 3 grams of carbs, which includes 1 gram of fiber, which is always good to see, 0 added sugars, and 25 grams of straight up protein. Now, I like that this is a vegan protein that's hitting 25 grams and not 20. I typically, sometimes you see, you know, other protein companies trying to hit that 20 mark when I think really should be 25 if you're gonna try to be in that market of protein. The big key points here is this is naturally sweetened, guys. There's no like artificial sweeteners in here. I think that's big. I think that's really big. There are some digestion aids in here as well, and obviously the sweetness is coming from a modified stevia. So in terms of the protein itself, it is coming from a pea protein isolate, which research has shown that it's the most bioavailable and probably the better form of a vegan protein if you're going to go with a vegan protein. So that's good to see. You know, it's not a blend or anything like that. I like that it's got some antioxidants and some greens in here. That's kind of an interesting kind of take. Again, vegan protein, I feel like it settles better in my stomach. I don't really get negative issues from whey protein in general, but I think with vegan, it's a little easier on my stomach. So in terms of the label ingredient breakdown, guys, I think it's superb. I think it's fully disclosed. Everything's really well dosed. You know, you're getting 25 grams of the pea protein isolate. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I don't know if it's all the way there. I think the fat's a little high, but sometimes, again, you get that with these vegan proteins. They're not going to be the same as like a whey protein isolate, but I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, and let's jump right into the taste, guys. Again, I've not tried this. This has been sitting kind of on the shelf for a little bit of time. As you can see, there's a little bit of dust on here. I've been kind of waiting to do this protein because obviously we've opened a bunch of other proteins, and you know, I don't like stuff to go bad. So we're going to open this up here. Now, we did go with the chocolate brownie flavor. Shout out to InnoSupps for sending this over to me. Again, they're not paying me for anything like that. You know, you guys use the discount code, you get a little discount there, but that's it. All right, guys, so this does recommend 6 to 8 ounces of water. We got about 7 ounces here. I'm gonna pull the scoop out here. Now, you know, obviously the last protein we talked about was Recage, not a vegan protein. But if you guys compare the scoop size here, definitely kind of a normal size scoop. Serving size on this is 34.9 grams. And we are going to do one rounded scoop here. Give this a nice good shake. Okay, pretty good mixability. You guys can see it here. Not a lot of foaming. Not a lot of sediment on the bottom. Cheers. Woo. Okay. That is very interesting. I think it's sweetened with some monk fruit, right? Yeah, some monk fruit extract, and then the enzymatically modified stevia is in here. This is a very interesting taste. Not what I was thinking. Yeah, you kind of get this chocolatey kind of flavor, and then this greens flavor. Again, there's those greens in there. It's definitely unique. I don't know if this is my go-to by any means. I was not expecting to taste the greens as much, even though there's a lot in there. It does kind of have that chalky kind of vegan protein kind of way about it. Yeah, I mean, for a vegan protein with greens in it, mind you, it's not bad. It's just, I think this is going to be specific to someone that's looking, or just expect it. That's all I'm going to say. Expect the greens flavor, expect a little bit of that chalkiness. Don't expect it to be super sweet. It's naturally sweet, and I think that's great. You know, I'm not a hater on sucralose. Personally, I don't mind it. I know some people out there are really, really against it. For me personally, it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't bother my stomach. Everything in moderation is kind of how I go about that. In terms of the taste, though, with this, I'm going to give this I don't know. It's probably about a 6 out of 10 for me in terms of vegan protein. It's kind of a hard justification because I taste the greens, which is great. In terms of like actually getting greens and the protein in there, which is cool. But the flavor itself is just not what I was expecting. And you know, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. So that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, guys, head on over to the website, InnoSupps.com. You can check out all their products. I've done a review on their pre-workout. I've talked about their regular whey isolate, which I think tastes great. This is definitely an interesting one. Again, has that greens flavor, chocolatey, naturally sweetened. So don't expect it to be like a typical vegan protein that you get from other, you know, manufacturers. It's just different. I like that they went a natural route. I like that they put some greens in there. You know, a bunch of antioxidants, digestive enzymes, etc. I think that's great. So overall, would I recommend it? I think it's tailored to a certain person. If you're looking for a greens protein, this is probably the way to go. I haven't really seen a ton of other greens and protein kind of mixed up. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave a comment below. Hit me up on Instagram at @VWFitness. And with that, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe and bell for notifications. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.